If you're an athlete with performance goals, then you've already faced an injury or will at some point in your journey. When that happens, it can be difficult to know how to handle it, how to diagnose the issue, what steps to take for proper healing, and how to train around it. Before diving into this topic, I want to clarify that this video does not provide deep medical knowledge or replace a doctor's opinion. Sport doctors and physiotherapists are trained professionals with the education, experience, and expertise to diagnose and treat injuries. I am not part of the medical field. The goal of this video is simply to shed light on key aspects of injuries in athletes and offer practical advice on how to manage them effectively. That being said, if you're currently dealing with an injury, the best thing you can do is consult a qualified doctor or physiotherapist. And speaking of physios, if yours only prescribes rest, massages, and electrodes for every issue, it might be worth looking for someone with a broader range of methods. Now, let's start with the basics. From an athlete's perspective, dealing with an injury revolves around two key principles: treating the symptoms and addressing the root cause. Your goal should always be to heal so you can return to training while working to prevent a relapse. Let's take a simplified example. Your rotator cuff is weak compared to other muscle groups and you struggle to engage it properly during certain movement. This causes instability in your shoulders and that leads to pain in pulling movements such as pull-ups or rowings. To manage the pain, you decide to rest, allowing the inflammation to subside and continue training with movements that don't cause pain. By doing so, you're treating the symptoms of the injury. However, if you stop there, you'll likely return to training once the pain is gone, without addressing the underlying issue. As a result, the pain will probably come back sooner or later. To prevent this, you need to identify and correct the cause of the injury. In our example, it's your weak rotator cuff. So, while resting from painful movement and gradually reintroducing them into your training, you should be working on strengthening your rotator cuff and learning how to activate it properly in your exercises. By doing this, you're not only healing, but also preventing future injuries. Treat the symptoms, fix the cause. Then you need to know how to learn more about your injury. And for this, start by studying it briefly. Which movement causes the pain? At what speed? In what range of motion? This will help you determine which exercises you can keep, modify, or replace. For example, if bench pressing causes pain, but reducing the weight, slowing the tempo, and limiting the range of motion does not, then you might be able to keep this movement in your training with those adjustments. Next, determine whether your injury is traumatic or overuse related. Did it happen suddenly after a fall, an impact, or a specific event? If so, it's likely a traumatic injury. Did it develop gradually due to overtraining, lack of recovery, or muscular imbalance? If that's the case, then it's likely an overuse injury. And yes, I know that traumatic injuries can be caused by an overuse that weakened a specific area, and in reality, both types of injuries can be related. But for this video, we're trying to fix the basics, so we'll make it simple and consider that both types of injuries are not related. If your injury is traumatic, you probably remember exactly when it happened. If it's an overuse injury, consider these factors to identify the cause. Muscular imbalances. Test for discrepancies in strength, flexibility, or mobility. Some imbalance is normal, but if there's a significant difference between opposite limbs or joints, it could be linked to your injury. Training volume. Assess whether you've been overloading the injured area. Recovery quality. Consider your sleep, nutrition, and overall rest. Injury history. If a joint, a muscle, or any other structure have been injured multiple times, it may have developed a weakness, making it more susceptible to future injuries. Once you've identified the cause, work on both recovery and prevention. Depending on the issue, this might involve mobility work, strength training, postural adjustments, or technical corrections. Make sure that you're not just running toward another injury. From there, you'll have to plan your comeback. If you've had a long period of inactivity, whether for your entire training or just a specific exercise, make sure to be strategic about your return. Gradually reintroduce movements, loads, speed, volume, range of motion, intensity. Set milestones before advancing to the next phase. For example, being able to complete a certain number of sets and reps without pain, having 2 consecutive pain-free sessions, having a better technique on an exercise before increasing difficulty. In short, treat your comeback just like any other part of your training. Plan it carefully or have a professional do it for you. And finally, find balance between activity and rest. Completely stopping all movement is rarely the best option. In most cases, movement is actually a valuable ally to recovery. However, rest can still be beneficial, whether from your entire training or just a specific movement. Taking a week off won't cause you to lose strength or muscle, especially if you stay consistent with your diet and daily habits. And if you're feeling frustrated or powerless because of an injury, remember this simple motto: train what you can train, while you heal what you can heal. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions, or anything else, you can drop a comment down below. And if you want to contact me or if you're searching for a coach, you can go to my social medias in the description of the video. And please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to help the channel out. I'll see you next Sunday, and until then, train hard, stay consistent, and never forget, make yourself proud.